Good evening, everyone. I'm Rochelle Wilhite, the designated broker of Best Choice Realty. And tonight we are going to be covering prospecting and the Goldmine Strategy. I'm going to give it another go. It's been a couple years. So those of you who are new to the business, this is definitely a good one. Some of you that have been with me for a while, it will be a good review. Hopefully it's better than the first time that I did it. The recording was a little sloppy. So looking forward to talking about the strategy and specifically how to work your sphere of influence. There is a strategy around that. And I have been teaching and training this strategy for a long time. Since I've had my own company, this is something I use in my business as a way to work my prospecting and work my closed clients and work my sphere of influence. And so I know it works. So I'm going to share with you the Goldmine Strategy, and you can take it, leave it, ad-lib it, make it your own, add to the strategy, minus from the strategy. But I know that at least the minimum, it works really well. So much so that you could count on this for your business plan. So we're going to jump right in and talk about Dunbars numbers. Shannon, I'll let you explain this.
So Dunbar is an anthropologist, which I don't know if many of you know, but I was an anthropology major in college. So for me, having the psychology of how people think about other people is very interesting to me. So Dunbar's number is something that I studied actually in college, which is really funny that I see it cycled around in sales types of trainings and things like that. But Dunbar's number indicates basically the max amount of people that you as a human being can actually remember. When you think about the number of people that you can name and see a face visually, like in your mind, and know their names and keep track of them, the maximum amount of people that you can actually keep track of as a human is 150 people. Give or take, obviously, a couple there, but that's the max amount of people that you can remember. So any more than that, and you start to have breakdowns in communication or forgetting people's names, or too many, you're not having that personal touch to actually truly know and have a connection with when it's more than 150. So 150 is basically your sphere of influence. That's the target number that you want to have that you're marketing to. I know Candace, I think she's mentioned in the past, she's like, I've got my core people that I communicate with on Facebook. I send newsletters to, I send magazines to. It's not very many. It doesn't need to be 1,000 people. It needs to be that core 150 people that know you, that love you, that want to see you succeed. And that's basically the goal, is to have a sphere of influence group of around 150. And it aligns with the science. The science is 150 people.
Awesome. And Dunbar, I guess it was Robin Dunbar, kind of was an anthropologist in the 1990s. So there is evidence of the brain structure in knowing this number to be true. So we built our prospecting training tonight off of Dunbar's numbers. So if we go to the next slide, Shannon, that'd be great. This is where a lot of people, I call it analysis paralysis. So many of you have that right now. In fact, I know 20 of our brokers that have analysis paralysis and that are overthinking just based on the law of numbers. I'm still trying to organize. I'm still trying to bucket. Really, at this point, when we're going into spring, you just need to find there's so many different names for it too. This is the part that gets really frustrating, because one CRM will call it a bucket, and training will call it a pod, and then they call it a tag, or the sources, or the tiers. Pretty much you're over analyzing the whole process. It's like the groups on the Chime CRM, it's the Real Geeks, it's called the tags, or you can call it the A groups, the B group, the C group, the hot, the warm, the cold, the communities, the tiers, the labels. I think you get the message. There are so many different sources of businesses, and I think we overcomplicate this. And so tonight, my goal is to really kind of get you laser focused and break down. You can call it a bucket, you can call it a tier. I don't really care what you call it, but I've broken it down into just 5 categories, just to kind of simplify your life and kind of get you targeted on the right thing tonight. So you can call it whatever you want, but you really want to have 5, kind of break down your your database or the amount of people that you have into 5 different buckets. Let's go, or 5 tags or 5 sources. Let's go to the next slide. So group 5 is where most people start in real estate. So if you're a new broker, you're probably thinking, oh, I don't want to call my sphere of influence because it's just, I'm the new broker. I'm the new one in town. I don't really want to go at it this way. So then they'll spend on average hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in trying to run ads on Facebook, Google, magazines, postcards, dripping marketing on their neighborhoods. They will spend a ton of money. This is why the SEO people love you, because once you establish your domain name, if you have a GoDaddy and you've gone and purchased your website, they love you because they know that real estate agents in general start by cold marketing. They start by placing ads on these types of sources. And so don't make the mistake of starting here. Once you start working the cold market, you will want to develop some strategies around it. But if you're a brand new agent, do not start with group number 5 or tag number 5 or just the cold marketing. You will get out of the business very fast, and that's not what you want to do. So let's go to the next slide. And you certainly can buy ads. I've done that. I've worked in group number 5. I did that for many years. Deanna Fulton and I know we did that for many years. At Zip Realty, we know what that's like, and it's definitely swimming upstream in many occasions. But the more you pay and you can scale up, the more the volume, you can certainly turn some of those cold fish into warm, hot ones, but it just takes a long time to do that. Let's go to number 4, group number 4. These would be people that you affiliated with. So if you affiliated with our brokerage, we know that we have a lot of people on our Facebook closed group. Hey, I've got this open house opportunity, or I've got this person that's moving from Blaine down to Olympia. I'm wanting to scale my business. I'm actually in Spokane today. I don't want to drive 4.5 hours over to Spokane. Do we have a Best Choice Realty agents? These are those types of affiliates or joint venture. It's a group of past clients, maybe not in your database, but in other people's databases that you could work. Semi-retired agents, maybe some people that you've met, some affiliates like lender partners or title partners, or people that trust you to take good care of the people that are in their circle. Maybe they have a group of 150. So really think of group number 4 is not yours, but it's affiliated people that the circles intersect. And there are many different examples of those circles that intersect, but they are looking to partner.
I'll pipe in because I know that one thing I think I've seen with one of our agents do is that her goal this year is to have a referral agent in all of the major cities that she's been referring her clients to, having someone down in San Diego. And I think she said she has one down in Arizona and one in Florida and Idaho. She's got agents in all those different areas so that, when she has a client looking to move there, she's capturing the referral business as well. She's getting the referral commissions as that.
And it's a lot of money. You say, we see the checks come in on those referrals, and there's some of them are just as sizable. When you talk about how much it costs for these affiliates or joint ventures, sometimes it's not very much. It's just who you know and making that contact and building that relationship over time.
Yeah. And I think one of this particular agent last year, the reason she's targeted that is she realized last year that she made over $25,000 in referral commissions last year. That's awesome. She's like, gosh, I could be doing even better than that.
Yeah. So. No, that's awesome. And that's a shameless plug. You want to show people what you're working on, and we can certainly just switch over to bestchoicerealtyhomes.com, Shannon. Show them that.
Let me pull that up.
So that point where you're looking for maybe partners or referrals partners outside of Washington, that we do have we've been collecting. And if you have names of people that you've worked with before in other states, let us know who they are. We want to certainly have a relationship with those people because we are not licensed in some states like Arizona, for example, or Nevada, or in Philadelphia. We have relationships that you can easily find by going to bestchoicerealtyhomes.com. And Shannon's been collecting their contact information to make it easier for you under our members resource. And then there's a referral connection here. And what this is for out of state, we've started to collect. These are people we've actually received commission from. So we've already established a relationship with their designated broker, and they've also done an excellent job of taking care of our Best Choice Realty clients. So if you see a state here that we're missing some people and you know somebody or you've done some business with, say in Alaska, let us know who that is so we can put their name. But I do have a requirement. They have to have done a transaction with you in the past. If you can prove that to me or say that you've done that, and then also need their contact information. Great. Super. Let's go back to the presentation, Shannon.
Yep, 1 second.
Thanks. So those are the group 5, group 4. Now, if we go to group 3 is all about, tell me when, we got a few chats too. Group 3 is prospects. So really kind of a CRM. And all of you, if you do need a CRM, we have access to a CRM. I like to, work my CRM kind of from a point of, these are the people that came to you because they bought, they sold, they can be leads you bought on Zillow. It's basically just anything that you really haven't categorized. Chances are you're going to find a lot of prospects through your life, but it takes constant contact to get those prospects to actually convert into an actual sale. So if you've got more than, I would say 100, you definitely want to use some sort of customer relationship manager, client relationship manager, CRM. I talk like that so fast sometimes my husband's like, what is the CRM or this D? What is this? What are these acronyms that you guys use? And so sometimes I forget that I've been using the CRM my entire life. But that's what a CRM is. Internet leads that come to your CRM that maybe saw your name or your phone number, they're most likely buyers. So when you're working group number 3, the biggest tip I can give you for working group number 3 for the most conversion, and most of us are wanting seller leads. There's not as many seller leads out there for the taking. Those seller leads really go with who they have a relationship with over any kind of prospecting. So you want to ask the right questions with group number 3. Again, these are prospects that kind of fill your bucket, people you have a name, phone number, email address, name, but there really isn't a very solid relationship that's been formed in group number 3. Those leads, you just really want to ask them questions. And the most important question that I seem to ask when I was training thousands of database leads that just were in a database was just make contact. Obviously, the more contact, the better. And ask them, do they have a home to sell? And sometimes that simple question prompted, oh, I don't have a home to sell, or I'm currently renting, or actually I do know somebody that is interested in selling. It's often just asking that simple question to those leads. And oftentimes they do know, or they do have interest in knowing their home valuation, or that they do have an interest in selling at some point in time. So ask that question. Just assume almost anybody's internet lead is a buyer lead. But then on top of that, they won't bring themselves out in the open unless you ask questions to ask them about their home. You may have to do a little extra research to find out if they have a home. You can use Realist for that, or there are some lookup features from White Pages or Exact Dial. I use some of those things to kind of look up addresses. If you're missing some data from some of these prospects, there are some lookup programs for a cost. And it's not that expensive, it just takes time. So again, in group 5, 4, and 3, most of the brokers that I interact with, they spend way too much time in group 5, 4, and 3. Let's go to group number 2. It starts getting easier when you start getting up the ladder here. These are the closed clients or past clients. I can't tell you how many times that I recruit brokers to come to Best Choice and they don't even remember their closed clients. How do I go ahead and get that? I'm thinking, oh, that's not good. That means they're not contacting their closed clients after it's closed. It's kind of done. And those are great opportunities and very, very warm calls. In fact, I have a closed client recipe that I'm happy to send you. It's what I use. It's what some of our top producers use as well. If you want me to send you the recipe, I'm happy to send you my recipe of what I do with my closed clients. But these are people who have done business with you over a year ago, and they place your trust, and you just need to give them a reason to do that business with you again. And they often have their son, their daughter, their friend, their family member that they will want to have work with you if you stay in contact. And many of us do not stay in contact. So group number 2, definitely want to keep that list and make sure that it's segmented in your database. Tag it, label it, whatever you have to do so that you don't lose track of your group number 2. Let's go to the group number 1. So group number 1 and number 2, I really want you guys to work going forward in the next week to a month. I think you'll get a lot of gold out of this, of mining these 2 groups, group 1 and 2. Make it a goal to get to 50 people. If you have 50 people already and you just haven't contacted them, that will be your next step. If you have the 50 people, make it a goal to get new clients added each week. Maybe your goal might be to add 5 people each week. Maybe it's only 1. Whatever you're trying to grow, you need to make it a goal so that you have something that you can focus on. But that's group number 1, is your current clients. They have expressed interest that they are going to be buying or selling in the next few months, or people that they know that they know you're in real estate. If you are new to the business, it is anybody who has indicated to you that they wanted to work with you when you get your license. So it's either people you have talked to about real estate. I'm in Washington, I'm in the geographic area. They know me, they know I'm in real estate, and they have indicated they want to help me grow my business. I want to be your resource. Could you keep me in mind? You know, those types of conversations. Those are your clients. They may not be your clients that are actually going to buy and sell. In fact, I have a guy who gave me a ton of referrals. He was in my current client, my group number 1, and he passed away. But he gave me clients every month. He was calling me saying, I ran into this guy at the grocery store. He would be what we call the ambassador, somebody that knows you personally, knows what you're all about, knows your vision, and is out there talking the talk, walking the walk. And those types of people you also need to stay in touch with, because they can be your messenger. While you're working with another client, they can also be an advocate for you and making sure that your values and they know that you're not too busy to help their friends, their family, the type of people that they interact with. Let's go to the next slide. So this is the Goldmine strategy that you would do with group number 1 and group number 2, because I'm making a pretty good educated guess that many of you have not done a good job in the past 3 months of making sure you're making enough contact. So you would send out this week an elephant letter or an email, depends if you only have an email address or if you only have an address. Send out the elephant letter, get it out. It's not going to, you're not going to label it elephant letter. It's just a letter that goes out, but it is kind of like the elephant in the room. It's kind of like you guys haven't prospected well enough, or maybe you've lost touch. So it's a way to kind of put yourself at ease and get you into a position where you can consistently market and prospect to these people. The step 2, once you've sent out the elephant letter, and it could be a couple weeks after, I've done it as soon as the week after that letter hits their inbox or the letter hits their mailbox, I send out a 9-word email. It needs to be short. I want you to take off your signature block too. Make it look extremely personal. It would just say this 9-word, are you still interested in buying a home in Puyallup, Washington? That's it. And it would say Shannon, if Shannon was going to send it out to her people. The subject line is just their name. So if it was David, she would put David, hi David. She could just put that in the subject line. And then it's just a 1-line email, literally an email, 9 words. And then send that out with her. And again, take off the signature block, make it very, very like, what is this? And make it look like it's not canned, no HTML, no flashy colors, none of that. We want it to come direct to the box and elicit a reply. And we want a yes or no. That's the whole purpose of step 2. The week after that, then you want to send a text message. Most of the time you have a phone number. And so you can send a simple text message. You can copy and paste this text. I sat there watching TV. It was just texting. I actually sent it out when I was just walking with a friend. I was on the Ording Trail and I was walking with a friend. I sent out like 50 text messages to my database at this time. Hi, and then their name, following up on last week's email. Are you still interested? That's it. And then assign my name. So it's just a simple week 1, send the letter. Week 2, send out the 9-word email. Week 3, send out a text. And it works like a charm. It kind of fleshes out your database as well. Let's go to the next slide. So people are like, well, what's this letter? Oh, I guess you have another 1 week before you send the letter. The last thing I did, and this you can certainly do, it's not hard. It doesn't cost that much to do, but you can basically voicemail drop into their inbox. So they hear your voice and they can hear your fluctuation of your business. By this time, it's like the 4th week. I've been trying to reach you the past couple weeks. If you or someone you know locally is thinking of selling their home, I am working with a family right now that is qualified and ready to buy. If you are personally not comfortable with that because you don't have a person ready to qualify to buyer, we have 425 other Best Choice Realty brokers who have buyers who are sitting on the fence right now wanting to buy their home. I can assure you of that. We have plenty of buyers in our buyer pool. So you're not lying by saying that you're working with a family, because our brokerage is working with families all over the state of Washington right now who are looking to find a place to purchase or a second home or a condo or investment. So you can insert, instead of saying ready to buy, or you could just say invest, are ready and qualified to invest if you're working with only investors. So I went ahead and used this, and it's been very successful. And it's certainly has provided me with multiple, probably more leads than I even have time to manage, honestly. And it just takes a simple voicemail drop. You can load a list of, like, say 50 people pretty easily. You leave a voicemail. You just have to say, you can't say their name. You could just say hi and then just go right into it. But please practice the scripting so it doesn't sound too canned. It really needs to sound personal when you're actually doing the voicemail. Let's go to the last slide. Let's see. The last slide is the actual letter. I got to adjust my screen. Shannon, you want to go over the letter?
Sure. So this is the elephant letter that we mentioned that would be that first week. And I'll just read it for those that are driving or whatever. But, just the other day, me or my team, my staff, we took some time to review our business, and we've come to the conclusion that the most important assets we have in our business and relationships are those we've developed in our personal and professional lives. And then here it is. Here's why this is the elephant in the room. I also have to confess that I or my team or my staff have not been as proactive in personally communicating with you. It's to the point that I've taken appropriate steps to start communicating with you more frequently, by a newsletter, personal card, or follow-up calls from me or my office. Please consider it the evidence that I'm putting my relationship with you back where it needs to be. That is first in my business. In the near future, you'll begin to receive my monthly newsletter, my quarterly magazine, whatever it is that you're putting them on. Meanwhile, if you have any questions or if we can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to call us.
Again, you got to modify it and make it your own. So if it's just Angela that's sending this out, just the other day, I took some time. You can modify this, and I've seen it worked multiple times, and it works really well, especially when you're sending it out to your closed clients or your sphere of influence, those 50, 100, up to 150 people that you know personally. And I don't know if everybody's doing a good job like Candace. I mean, I would say Candace does a pretty good job, but maybe she can speak up here. Are there some people that maybe need to be sent this, Candace, in your personal business? Would you be able to share a little bit?
Absolutely. And I think for me, I kind of do this all the time. And as you said, making it your own. And I've actually talked to, over the last week, it's funny that this is the topic for today, but over the last week, at least 3 people. And it's really just that. It's waking up your database. Mm-hmm. And, my big one is, and you could do this for every single one, but I just came across a house that made me think of you. And I know it's been a while since we've chatted, but hey, whatever the next portion is, I just wanted to reach out, see how everything's going. If you know of anybody looking to buy or sell, send them my way. It's almost just kind of like a natural, right, for me now, just because we have to consistently do this. I mean, this type of task for me is continual. I do have the systems where I do the magazine quarterly, right, and then I have a seasonal drop off, like a card or a mailer, but just something like this and sending it out to everybody on a blast, it does not hurt. And you'll be surprised. people are so responsive to these elephant letters.
Great. Well, and it's coming from the heart, right? You obviously want to, if you need to change the verbiage, but it gives you a template to work from here. I think
Right.
a lot of new agents, Candace, they just don't know what to send. So then they
Right.
don't send, right? Or they're too stuck in trying to organize the analysis paralysis. At the beginning of the
Exactly.
call.
Don't overthink it. Just do something.
Yeah, and maybe you only have 25. I mean, we had a few people on the call last week, right, that we worked with, I think it was last Friday on the database, and some people only had 25 people. This works fine with 25 people as you're getting going and creating a system. You need something to go out, and we know this works. So it's just like, think about, it's not just one contact, it's a series of contacts too. It is, a couple of steps to try to connect with them at their level. Some people will respond best to text. Some people will respond best to email. Some just want to hear your voice. They haven't heard my voice in a while. At least all you guys have, but my closed clients have not. So sending out a dropped voicemail like that, I think that would go a long way. We did that just a couple weeks ago, and it was like, oh my goodness, I haven't heard from 2 of my closed clients, and they called me. Rochelle, it was so good to hear from you. I'm so glad you're doing well and your mom's doing well. Those types of things go a long way. So if you can make it personal on your voicemail drop, as personal as you can get without sounding too, because you're going to do it to everybody, but to talk about, what you're up to and that you're interested in hearing back about them too. It's always what's in it for them. I think that's the most important part with marketing. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Candace. Is there anything else, Shannon, that we need to cover on the database piece?
No, I think that's it. I know that I had a couple of people privately message me asking about CRMs and what we do for newsletters and quarterly. I think that's something that we can certainly cover in another call. And I think we've got some prospecting stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks too. So
I do.
Stay tuned, I think, for that stuff.
Yeah, we've got some great workflows. We're going to be going over emails, text message series that's refreshed and rebooted. So you guys are going to get really excited here in the April. It won't be April Fools. It's for real. We've cleaned up a lot of that stuff over the last little bit. If you are wanting a more robust CRM than Real Geeks, we certainly have that option. And there are people who are generating leads. And if you are interested, just need to let Candace or let me know. And we can put you on a list for those types of opportunities. Certainly they're more expensive, because there is a split that's involved in some of those lead opportunities, but maybe that's what you need to do. If you're new to the area or you have not spent the time to really grow your database, there are opportunities like that exist with our company. So just let me or Candace know, and we'll be sure to make sure we get you connected in the right way. And then stay tuned for the next couple of weeks, because we've got some really good sessions coming out. Chime is also is up and running. Some of you are taking advantage of that offering. It is we've negotiated a group rate, so it's much more affordable than if you were to just go buy it off the shelf. So if you are interested in having your own website, your own account, it's not more than $100 a month for that type of offering. And it's working really well. So we've got a few people that have jumped on, and every week it seems like we're getting another one or another 2 agents that want to jump on that type of opportunity. So let me know if you have any interest in that. We'll get you training and get you set up with that CRM. If you don't use it, if you're just getting started, Real Geeks is perfectly fine. It's connected to your website and it will get you started. It's when you want to start putting some advertising or doing some Facebook or Google pay-per-click that you may want to have a bit more control of that process. And that's where Chime would come into place. And Candace and I can talk with you more about that as we go forward. So with that, I'll let you guys head out unless there's any questions. Shannon, if you want to unmute everybody or just open it up for questions. It looks like we got a few people that had questions. Okay, yep, ambassadors. So we got the elephant letter. If you need me to, can we post it on the member resources, Shannon, the letter in Word document so that people can easily just grab it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And I think it was just a 3-step process. So, 3 weeks. First week is a phone call. Second week is a text message. Third week is a letter.
Yep.
A letter. Kind of like the speed to lead process, if any of you guys are familiar
Side question, in a foreclosure auction home, what may subject to mortgage mean? Foreclosure auction, subject to mortgage. So it must mean probably subject to the attorney to approve the sale, is what I'm guessing, Stephen and Ben. So needs some time for them to approve. So it's like they're writing in their own seller contingency. And great ideas, Deanna Fulton. Thanks for sharing on that about some different shocking statements.
Little reverse psychology for you. I like that.
Yep, very good. Okay, perfect. Shannon, did you capture some of the contacts there? And then
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Stephen and Ben. And if any of you guys have other agents throughout the country that you're wanting to share that resource with us, we'll certainly be able to put them on our website and get them some more business for them in their respective cities. But I think that's something that if you're looking at least on that group, when you get to that point where you've got consistent business that's coming through, that's something that you can certainly kind of work in that group at that point.
Yeah, some people have to move because they just can't, the price point is so high. So we need to look at other areas of the country and negotiate some good referrals with some other states. So that's, I think, where that broker you said made $25,000 it's very important that we have those connections made.
Yep. And I think some people, I don't know if you guys knew, but if you've got clients that are moving to Northern Idaho, we are licensed in Idaho now. So if you want to keep it in the family, just let us know. We can connect you with our agents over there in Coeur d'Alene and Kellogg.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, we'll let you get back to your business. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next Monday, and have a great week, you guys.